Hey everyone, we're TowawayCouple. I'm Tom, the driver.
And I'm Bunny, the Lincoln navigator.
The what?
Well, I've already been the navigator, so I wanted to up my game and be the Lincoln navigator.
The Lincoln navigator. Like the Lincoln lawyer?
No, like the high-end car Lincoln.
I gotta find out which one turns my volume up. How's that?
I don't know. You tell me. I don't have headphones in.
You don't look like you're as loud as me.
I'm never as loud as you.
Oh, you are loud.
You're the one that likes to talk.
I do. So I'll turn you down just a hair. All right, so we're going to be talking about winds today.
We are, because we got hit with winds again.
Brutal. Brutal.
A little too brutal, I think.
Backstory, we go out of our way.
What do you mean we go out of our way?
We went out of our way the other time to avoid winds.
We did.
We got into winds there.
Yes.
This is different. Sorry.
So it doesn't matter if you are going towards Washington State, no matter which freeway you take.
California.
Northern California. No matter which freeway you take, you're going to hit winds.
All I know is when you're doing TowAway and driveaway and you're driving so much, your days run together, and the RVs... I don't even remember what RV I delivered the other day versus last week or last month.
Well, we did. I got my hand slapped from a dealer because I decided I'm not going to run the 80 in the springtime. The winds were going to be bad, so
she figured it out. We were going to be stuck. We were literally going to be stuck for 2 to 3 days in Wyoming,
Cheyenne.
Yep. So, and we were already stuck there for 2 days once. We weren't. We're going to avoid that like the plague. Right.
So with that, okay, well, we're going to drop down to the 70. Lo and behold, there you hit winds there too.
A lot of winds.
And the dealer wasn't very happy with me that I took the RV down on a different path.
Well, but on the driveaway, on the motorhome, they actually look at the odometer. Mm-hmm. And, some companies have what they call a PC miler. And you got to follow that PC miler regardless. Are you responsible for the tow, the breakdown, anything? But if you're on that PC miler and something happens, then they'll take responsibility.
Correct.
For the tow and everything.
We don't have that here. And it was a new dealer.
And we asked our company, we said, hey, is there a specific route we have to take? They said, no, just get it there as quickly as possible. So Bunny did
He did the quickest route.
We did the quickest route. But the dealer straight up said, I don't care if you sit there for 3 days and waste your time and twiddle your thumbs. You put 200 miles extra on this motorhome. Try selling a motorhome with 200 more miles on it. And I understand that.
No, I completely understand it too. And I'm like, but sir, it had 70 miles on it before I got it.
And we were told they needed it right away.
Right. So then the other day we were going up to Washington State. Well, I was actually going to Montana and Tom was continuing on to Washington. Oh. And so we took the 90.
Yes.
Which we thought was going to be better. Well, we got stuck in a tornado.
We didn't get stuck in a tornado. We drove through a tornado. Literally through it.
Yeah.
So we're coming up. The winds weren't that bad. Bunny's looking at all of her apps. I mean, she has like 3 or 4 wind apps because you don't trust just one.
No.
We learned that real fast.
We learned that fast.
To give you a backstory on that, we were looking at our apps and a couple of the apps said winds were 17 to 19 miles an hour. And we're like, well, we could drive up to 25 miles an hour. Let's kick brick and let's go down the road. We were holding on. Her awning started coming out and the nearest off ramp was 7 miles up to get off to come 10 miles back. So that's 17 miles out of the way round trip to get back to the truck stops we were at. And we looked everywhere and everything said about 19 miles an hour or less. And I'm like, no way. And the next day when we went down the road, we saw a Class A motorhome flipped over and a couple semis and a fifth wheel flipped over.
Right.
Off the frame. frame was gone.
So now, actually, that first night we drove right through tornadoes, and we didn't. I mean, it was dark going into it. It was already dark at night.
We did not know. Disclaimer.
We did not know.
Put the disclaimer out there.
We didn't. We
honestly
didn't. And my
didn't.
wind speeds were literally only saying
14 to 16 miles an hour.
14 to 16. So basically what we're saying is we literally had to kick it down to like 30. I think we were going 30 miles an hour.
Well, she's ahead of it. It started raining. And as it got worse and worse, it got dark.
I kept telling him, and here he's with this, I think you had a 35-foot trailer and I had a 39-foot RV. And the whole time I kept telling him, babe, I have never seen so much lightning in all my life.
Right. I mean, lightning all around us, I mean, encompassing us. But the winds weren't so bad. Until the rain. The rain was so bad, we couldn't even see the windshield. It was that bad. We had to slow it down to 30 miles an hour just so we could even stay out in between the lines.
We were in the middle of South Dakota, and there was literally nowhere to get off the freeway.
We couldn't go on the shoulder, nowhere. And the nearest off-ramp was like 10 miles up.
So we took it down to 30 miles an hour, and we inched it in as
Meanwhile,
safely as possible.
Semis are blowing by us.
A
Mustang blew by us doing 80. And you think, when you got two RVs with their hazards on, well, you think that maybe they're having a problem.
Yeah. No. So we inched it. We got it in, and we got it into a pilot. It closed at 10 o'clock that night.
Yep.
Luckily, we got in time just to grab something to eat, hold us over. But so we hunkered down at that pilot for the night. And then I started looking at weather for the next day. And I'm like, you know what? I said, we're not going to make it very far. I said, because even if we get past Sturgis, the winds are going to kick up to 30 miles an hour.
And we'll have to pull over.
And we still can't drive.
So just so you know, transporting RVs, every company has the same policy. Wind speeds that exceed 25 miles an hour, you are fully responsible if something happens to that RV. And we see RV transporters going in 25, 30 mile an hour winds all the time. We just refuse to do it. We pull over.
Well, we only made it into Rapid City that day.
Yep.
We literally only made it 120 miles that day.
Yeah, we got in there at like 10:30, 11 in the morning.
Yeah, my wind speeds on my wind app were literally saying 22, 23 miles an hour. Technically, you can still drive in that, but the winds weren't even coming from one direction. They were just whipping around and
we couldn't even walk in these winds.
You were just whipping around in different directions. You couldn't even drive these things straight whatsoever.
As we're watching RV transporters going up the freeway.
So we
got into a hotel.
We did. We got into a hotel because you know what? We'd much rather be safe than sorry.
And the hotel was very nice. We let them know we're kind of stuck and we could sit in the parking lot for 4 hours and wait for you to check us in. Or if you already have a clean room, we'll take it. Mm-hmm. And they were so nice about it. And they're like, absolutely. And the girl folding the laundry is like, you're going to love it here. It's a great hotel.
and it was. It really was. And it was within walking distance of different restaurants. But, you know, like I said, we'd much rather be safe than sorry. There's so many people out there that say, oh, well, you're not a man if you're going to stop when the winds are only 23 miles an hour. You know what? More power to you. I just feel you need to drive. You got to drive as slowly or as safely as your weather conditions.
Right, but your job is to get a trailer from point A to point B. It's not all about making money. Well, it's about making money because if you don't get to point B, you're not making any money.
No.
And you spent money to take it that far.
And if you get flipped over from the winds,
you lose your job.
Well, yeah, and
immediately
you lose your deposit, and how much money are you going to have to put back into your truck?
Right.
Because your truck went flipping over with it.
Example, Bunny had an awning coming out on an RV. Winds weren't even bad. I mean, I think they were 9 miles an hour. But the awning just kept, literally coming all the way out like a big parachute. And we called dispatch, and of course they're all at home. And I'm like, somebody better answer our damn phone, because we're sitting here now, and I'm not sitting all night just because somebody doesn't want to answer the phone. Finally, the guy who actually handles this was not at our current company, calls us, and he says, where are you located right now? And I tell him, and he goes, hold on a second. And we had no idea. Next thing you know, goes, oh yeah, okay, the winds are only 9 miles an hour. The first thing they look at is the winds. Mm-hmm. Because they want to know if it's their fault, their problem, or your fault and your problem. And I thought, holy cow, we looked at it only because we were concerned. We didn't think that they looked at it that fast.
Right. The minute they ask for your location, they're looking at your wind speeds.
Right.
But you know what?
Oh, but when we were at the hotel in Rapid City, we turn on the news, and what do we see? We see all these tornadoes from the night before. And that's what we drove through. We had no clue because it literally just, all the rain came up. We just thought we were going into rain. Mm-hmm. And the wind speeds were they weren't that bad until we got about halfway into it. We couldn't see the windshield in front of us, and it's lightning everywhere, and then all of a sudden the winds kicked on. So who knows how close the winds were?
No, we don't know. We still don't know. And
or how close tornadoes were, not the winds. We were in the winds.
Yeah. When we finally did make it to Rapid City and we were watching that guy drive by, I watched this transporter drive by, and I looked at my speed at that point said 27 miles an hour.
Right. And he was feeling it because we walked over to the restaurant and we were literally pushing our bodies through the wind, let alone a fifth wheel,
right?
A 40-foot fifth wheel. And some of the transporters are like, you need to mind your own business. We don't give a crap if you want to take your fifth wheel that you're being paid to take to a dealership at any wind speed. We're just saying it's dumb.
Right.
And we wouldn't do it.
When we delivered that trailer too, I went and I talked to the salesman. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I had told you that we were going to have it here yesterday. I says, but we got stopped in the rain. And he goes, or in the wind. And he goes, thank you so much. He goes, I would much rather deal with one day.
I got to stop her from hitting the desk because I could hear it in the headphones.
He goes, I would much rather deal with one day late than you giving us a call and telling us that the diesel or that RV is on its side.
Especially when they sold it in October. And we delivered it in June, and that customer had been calling them every single day. So we were his life-saving, CPR. So when we delivered my trailer, she actually went on our TowAwayCouple, the person who checked us in, and put thank you for treating our trailer like your own personal trailer, because we had to explain to her that we got stuck and pulled over and everything else. So that was a really nice
review. I said, we don't care how you want to drive it. But for a lot of people out there, don't let people bully you and say, oh, you have to do this, or you got to do that, or you're not that much of a driver if you can't drive in winds. Do what you feel is safe.
Well, we took the winter off, and we lived in Iowa. We've driven in the snow. It's not like we don't know how to drive in the snow. We just didn't want to.
I don't like the cold.
We're 53 years old. We want to just stay warm. Shh. Okay, I'm 53 years old. But, this job is really cool. You don't have to do what you don't want to do. So I just don't want to get rear-ended by some other idiot or broadsided because someone couldn't stop, or there's so much that can happen on ice. And if you talk to any professional truck driver who's seen it all, they say that's a smart, if they could take off the winter, they would take off the winter in a heartbeat.
Right.
But I got all these nasty messages. Oh, you're not a professional. You need to turn in your plates and placards today. And that's a trigger alert. Placards. I'm just having fun.
So definitely do you. If you don't want to drive in 20-mile-an-hour winds, then shut it down and be safe.
And the reason why we can't drive in over 25-mile-an-hour winds is the GVRW on the trailer might say 14,000 pounds. it actually probably weighs closer to 10,000 pounds because you don't have all your holding tanks full, your food in there, your clothes and your toys and all your knickknacks and stuff like that add 2,000 to 3,000
and
pounds.
For all the people out there, because we do these videos for new people looking to get into this, once you drive an empty trailer, you're going to understand what we mean about the sway.
Yeah, because it just whips back and hold on. It like literally whips back and forth like that sometimes.
Right. Oh,
I got to play with my toy again.
You did. This last time I was literally telling Tom, I'm like, Jesus. At one point, the rear of the trailer was going from all the way from this lane to this lane, like completely. So, I mean, we kept slowing it down. I think when we finally got to Grand Rapids after 120 miles that day, that whopping we did, I think we were down to like 40, 45 miles an hour just to
keep the trailer from swaying because we had a crosswind. Mm-hmm. And then every time a semi truck would pass me, it would suck the trailer in and then push it out. And I literally had to hang on for dear life.
Right. So definitely, like I said, winds only said 23. I beg to differ.
Right. And if you're wondering what kind of truck we have a 3500. So my truck could handle the trailer.
Yeah, and I think that trip was a 35-foot motorhome.
Yep.
And it was pretty heavy itself, but yeah, no, they get pushed around and they get blown over too.
Right. All right. So with that, you got anything else to add?
Nope.
Okay. So with that, if you have any topics we should do videos on, go to TowawayCouple.com, send us an email. We love content questions that we can put on YouTube for no other reason. And definitely check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Just type in Towaway Couple, all one word.
Yep.
And like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Go to TowawayCouple.com. I know this is a shameless plug. We make 50 cents if you buy something from our Amazon links. So go buy all your stuff from Amazon and we might make $2.50.
Right. Might be able to buy a soda.
Right. So until next time, if you have any comments, go ahead and comment. And again, until next time.
See you down the road.
We'll see you down the road.